Plenty of foreign nationals have gone to fight for the Israeli military in Gaza. Now, 10 British nationals are facing allegations of war crimes and crimes against humanity over their service with Israel's armed forces in the Strip. A team of legal experts, including renowned human rights barrister Michael Mansfield KC, filed a 240-page report with the war crimes team at London's Metropolitan Police on Monday. It's the first of its kind report and was submitted on behalf of the Palestinian Centre for Human Rights, the PCHR, and the Public Interest Law Centre, the PILC, which are representing Palestinians in Gaza and Britain. To quote one witness cited in the report, whose relatives were killed in an Israeli attack, "I could not bear what I saw. Dead bodies scattered next to each other." The 10 Britons, who allegedly include Israeli dual nationals, are accused of, among other crimes, murder, extermination, attacking civilians, and the forcible transfer of a population. And Michael Mansfield KC joins me now. Michael Mansfield, thank you for joining me on Mehdi Unfiltered. How did this report come about?
Came about because an organization in the United Kingdom was aware from families that British nationals were serving in the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, and were further aware, particularly since the law center that helped compile the report were representing Palestinian families, and were aware from their reports that British nationals were serving in the Israeli army. They then did research in open source material and discovered places, names, and offences.
And could the number go up from 10? Is 10 just the minimum that was discovered in the open source research?
I wasn't involved in the research. I've only just recently come into it, so I can't answer you directly. The only ones that are mentioned in the report are 10, but I'm quite sure there are others. They employed something called, I think in America you call Berkeley, California, and the United Nations Human Rights Commissioner together worked out a protocol for how you investigate open source material.
What are the crimes that they are accused of, these 10 British nationals, Michael?
Well, the accusation covers a gamut of war crimes and crimes against humanity. War crimes are committed during armed conflict. Crimes against humanity doesn't have to be an armed conflict. But the basic ones are fairly obvious. Killing or murder is one crime. I'm only going to pick the obvious ones. Another one is extermination, because you've seen mass killing. Another one is displacement, whereby people are some are called deported across a boundary into another territory, or displaced within their own territory, in many cases, many times, with nowhere to go. So basically, it's not evacuation to a safe place. So those are the main crimes. There are others. There are about 10 different offences, but the fundamental points are concerning mass killing, mass destruction, and mass displacement.
What action, ideally, would you like the Met Police to take?
Well, they have a war crimes unit, so they're obviously accustomed to doing this, not necessarily in the context of the Middle East, but elsewhere. And so I expect them to take it extremely seriously, look at it carefully, sieve it. I don't know what their methodology is. It's none of my business how they conduct it. And then once they've sieved through the material, then obviously they have to verify it, make sure it's legitimate, and eventually, obviously, some sort of contact would have to be made with the suspects, because this is not putting a government on trial, it's putting individuals on trial. Individuals, in this case, members of the United Kingdom, citizens of the United Kingdom.
And of course, you've got these British nationals going out to fight in Gaza for the Israeli military. The Israeli military is being investigated at the ICJ. The ICC has indicted the Prime Minister and former Defence Minister of Israel. Should the British government, given the volume of accusations against Israel, should the British government ban British nationals from going out to fight for this foreign military? Would that even be legal? Liking this video? Then don't just watch, hit like, share and subscribe. And tap the bell so you never miss a video or live show. But if you want early access to exclusive content, then you have to head to zeteo.com and subscribe now. You'll be supporting fearless, independent journalism.
Oh, it would be possible for the government to indicate, as they have on other occasions, that it would be unlawful to join an army that, in its view, is conducting an unlawful war, in the sense that the International Court of Justice has already determined in 2004 and last year that the occupation of by Israel of the OTP, the occupied territories, is unlawful. So yes, the government have plenty of options as to what they should do. The problem is many governments are not doing anything. Yeah. And some are supporting the regime. So they could have economic sanctions. There could be sanctions against any kind of exchange of armaments or support for settlements and all the rest of it. Many, but so far, little action. So I think it's another reason why the Centre has decided, the Palestinian Centre for Human Rights and the Public Interest Centre have decided to, as it were, prompt the government, or rather prompt the government agency, the police, into action.
You're a human rights lawyer who's been holding the British government to account for many years, Michael, on a range of issues. What do you make of this Labour government, the Keir Starmer government's approach to Israel? Is the British government, is Labour complicit in the kind of Israeli war crimes outlined in your report by continuing to sell arms to Netanyahu in Israel?
Well, the short answer to that is I think they are at risk of becoming explicit. They're saying at the moment that they will only export arms, you need a license, that the license will only be granted with certain provisos. But I think they should be going, so they're saying they're safeguarding themselves against unlawful provision. My argument is you've got to go beyond that, as the court says you can, which is general embargoes on trade, business, relationships, never mind just weaponry. So even if they say they're only going to use certain weapons for defensive purposes, I think it's so bad what is happening on our screens every day that by the end of tomorrow, Gaza will be flat, and the world has stood by. And this is why today is very important for those of us in the United Kingdom who are prepared to stand up to do so.
And last question, do you think other countries, human rights lawyers in other countries, should be following your lead? We know that French nationals have gone to fight for the IDF. There are apparently 23,000 American citizens, according to the Washington Post, serving in the Israeli military. Do you think human rights lawyers in the US, in France, should follow your lead and try and have these individual soldiers held to account?
Yes, definitely. And one country I know of, Belgium, is doing exactly that.
Well, good luck in the UK. Michael Mansfield, thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Did you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on notifications. For exclusive content and to support our independent, unfiltered journalism, head over to zeteo.com. Your support matters.